Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. In today's video, we are talking Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Reunion. Sorry, these remake names are too freaking long. let's get that out of the way first of all, because that's a big problem. But this isn't a remake. No, this is a remaster. Like, for those of you who are unaware, this game is basically just a remaster. I've looked at, so I personally did not play the original Reunion. Let me make that very clear. The main reason that I did not play the original Crisis Core is because when the game came out, I wasn't as big of a Final Fantasy fan. And on top of that, I really didn't care about Crisis Core, like, at all. Like, and I didn't have a PSP either. Because when I first got my PSP, this was like 2017, I want to say, maybe 2018. No, it was definitely I think it was either 2016 or 2017, but I'm pretty sure it's 2017 because I got it shortly before to play Birth by Sleep, and then after that I played the PS3 version of 2.5 came out, and I played the crap out of that. Because so I played a decent amount. I think I even got all the way to the final bosses in one of them. I don't remember which one. But I got through a good majority of the game, and I was just like, I cannot actually defeat this boss. Primarily because I was kind of terrible at grinding. So, yeah, I didn't worry about it because I had other things on my mind when I was dealing with that game. So, yeah, needless to say, I was mostly... I didn't even finish that game until it came out on the PS3. So, yeah. But that is a good reason why I haven't actually played the original Crisis Core. Do I want to get it at some point? Yes. To do an actual video comparison between the two versions of the game. But one of the things that I think is really interesting is that this game is pretty much a carbon copy. Like, the only things that are different is, one, they improved on the actual control scheme. So I will go ahead and just bring out this little baby to explain like a few different things. So first off, the way that the original game worked is that you would use the triggers to choose what you were going to do, whether that be a command, an item, different things like that. That was how you controlled it, and then you would press a button to actually activate it, and that included your attack. So pretty much everything else, not a huge deal. But since they added, this console adds 2 extra buttons, you're actually able to do a lot more with that. So they improved a lot of different things to help out with the actual gameplay, such as now when you scroll, that is just dealing with one specific action that is specifically dealing with your items. Then your other button, one of your other buttons, that is specifically dealing with your standard attack, and then you would hold down a button, and that would activate your command button. This would be anything that is going to be dealing with materia, and then from that you can use any of the buttons on this side of the controller to actually activate said attack. So, are you going to be doing one of the 4 main ones, or are you going to be using these 2? That's basically how they changed it, and they improved it for this game. And that is a pretty minor system. Pretty much everything else is practically the exact same. From what I've gathered of the differences between the games. And like I said, I've never played the original game, but literally every single video that I've looked at of the original game is literally, you could take you could literally put this next to that, and the only thing that would be that would be changed is, 1, the controls, and 2, how good the game looks. And that is insane to me. And also, I should just make you guys aware, I only own the Switch version. I do not own the PlayStation version. Do I want to get the PlayStation version eventually? Yes, and I will, if and when I do get that, I will probably do a video talking about the differences between the Switch version and the PlayStation version, because that's what I have. So whatever that is, I might do that eventually. But really, if you just want to play this game, it really doesn't matter which console you play it on. If you have multiple consoles, go for whichever one is the easiest to get at the time, and use a little bit of judgment on that. For example, I want to have it be a little bit more feeling like the original game to a certain degree. That's one of the reasons why I got the Switch one, so that I could actually play it on the go if I ever wanted to. Which I have done a little bit. I haven't done too much with that, but I have played the game a little bit on the go while I'm doing other things. And that is really awesome. But yeah. There's lots of little things with this game, though, that I really, really enjoy. Firstly, I know that a lot of people really hate the whole gambling thing, but it's kind of fun. Like, you never know what's gonna what those numbers and the items are gonna be, or what you're gonna get. Are you gonna get a super powerful attack? Maybe. Are you going to get the ability to use your spells or your attacks multiple times in a row? Are you going to level up? Or what exactly is going to happen? I think that's a really interesting way to do it. I do not think that a main game should ever do this, but it's a fun little gimmick that I think is really fun, and I kind of want to see other games do something similar because it's hilarious. My dad, on the other hand, really despises that that's a thing. So he's just, like, avoiding this game like the plague. And he loves Final Fantasy VII, so... yeah. But the game, it's fun. It's a fun little thing that you can just have fun with. You can run around the game. I really enjoy the missions, which is probably what I'm showing right now. But it's fun to just run around doing different missions. I also kind of think it's hilarious. I saw this, I was looking up some information for how to get the Chocobo as a summon, and one of the things that people said is, this will likely be your first Chocobo mode, and I'm like, no, I got the Toneberry. Like, that one was so freaking easy to get. And apparently, the reason that is the first one that people go for, that people get, is because that was like one of the easiest ones to get. As are like a good majority of the rest of them, because it's actually kind of planned out for that. But like the Toneberry and freaking the Magic Pot, you can get those so freaking fast if you just do the right mechanics. Or the right missions, and you're like me and explore the entire place before you continue on. But yeah, if you do that, then you're like, ding, 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 you're done. You get two Chocobo mode things before you ever even find out about the Chocobo. And that is incredible. On top of that, you can quickly and easily get like a bunch of summons, because certain summons you just find, and that's fun. In fact, you can actually get most of the summons, including the Chocobo summons and the normal summons. All of them you can get before you ever complete the main story. So that's just fun. That's fun that you can do that. And before you get all of the special version, the special attacks. So whatever they are. And there's also little things like that you could just be like, oh, that's cool, you can do that. Also, I love all of the little things with Zack, because, especially in the early part, because, keep in mind, when I'm making this video, I haven't even completed the game. I am currently shortly after Zack gets the Buster Sword, so I'm not fully aware of every single thing, but you can do a lot. Like, you can, if you really want to, you can get a shit ton of the missions done long before you even complete the game. And if you are someone who specifically focuses on doing the missions and just doing the missions, you're going to be able to just waltz right through the main story, and you're just going to end up being like, what the frell? Because some of those missions are really freaking hard, and they're meant for something that you would do at the end of the game, like post-game stuff. And you can just do many of those from the first time that you're able to access these extra missions. And that's just so much fun. Like, if you really want to, you can just grind out doing the missions for a long time, and then when you're done, go and do the main story, get a few missions every here and there, and then bingo, you're done. You're able to just finish the game extremely quickly, and it's going to be insane. Obviously, one thing that I do suggest that you do is make sure that you at least get to a point where you have the soldier first class uniform, because once you do that, then you are able to equip a total of 6 materia, which is going to be really helpful. But that's another thing that I think is a bit of an issue with this game, is that you really can't upgrade things. Like, really the only time that you get, basically, all of your materia, you get 6 materia and then you're done. You do not get any more. The only thing that you get to improve on is your accessory slots, which you start out with 1, and then you get a second one, and a third one, and I think that is it. It might be up to 4. But basically, you get a certain number of those slots, and it's really great. It's fantastic even, but your materias are kind of lacking. Like, if you want special stat boosting materia, you're gonna have to sacrifice some slots for attacks, which sometimes you're really gonna need those attacks. And also, make sure that you're leveling up your materia. That is extremely important, because if you can get all of them up to maximum, and then once you get the access to the materia melder, you can just get all of the materia super fast, because if you go onto the website, they actually have like the exact list that you need in order to do certain things, and different materia you can put on different effects for it, and it's really interesting, actually. I do not have time to actually go into all of the details with that, but if you ever want to look it up, there are lists all over the internet that you can just be like, okay, what do I need in order to do this specific, in order to get this materia? Oh, I need this, this, and this. Bingo, 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 bingo. And you're done. One thing that I think that you should also be aware of, don't necessarily go for stat materias. They can be very useful, but really you don't need them. The biggest, I think that you should at least level them, so that you can then fuse them with other materia, and then it will give you an extra boost to that specific stat. But usually only do that when you're grinding out those specific materias. Once you have leveled up those materias, then cool. One other thing, if you want to just level up, literally go into a boss fight that you go into something that you can keep it going for a long time. So go into like a battle, some mission that they really can't do much damage to you. So like the tutorial one, go in there, literally just run around the guy like 100 times, and then slowly and surely you'll just level everything up. Because one of the things that's really interesting about this game is that your whole system is based off of that gambling machine that's up in the corner. Because every time that it gives you it goes through and certain numbers pop up, it will level things up. It will allow you to have more magic, more defense, more whatever. And as that goes, you're pretty much just leveling. You're just getting tons and tons of levels really fast, and all for nothing. Literally for nothing. You're able to get out all of these levels, and it's insane. Obviously, it could take a few hours to do that, but the thing is that the system actually goes, like, it releases something like every like 30 seconds, I want to say. Maybe less. Because it rotates really fast, and it will just be like, boom, 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 here's this stat, here's this thing, there's that thing. If you are just going through and battling things, you're not going to use it very much. Keep that in mind, because if you just go through the main story, you're going to be able to just kick things butts really fast, and you're never really going to get a chance to use those specific mechanics. And it's also a good way that if by doing the missions, you actually get the chance to see different things. Like if you want to see the different summons, you can activate it, see how it looks, different things like that. I think there are some absolutely big problems with it, but it's a fun little mechanic for a fun little game. And yeah, now let's get the elephant out of the room. Is this game different from the original? As I said, it's basically a remaster. It is not a remake. It does have those little changes, but then there's one little thing at the very end that is very different. Zack lives. And that's not an understatement. That's a pretty big deal. For those of you who are unaware, in the original Crisis Core, at the end, Zack dies. Period. He goes on a mission, and he dies sacrificing himself for Cloud. Zack's not dead in the remake, though. In the Final Fantasy VII remake. They make it very... so they don't make it extremely clear in the main game, but there's something at the end there where you see Zack, you see him fighting things, but you're not really certain what exactly... Is that just a memory or what? Because it looks like it could just very well be a memory that Cloud is having of the last time he saw Zack. Which, that is how it happened. That is actually something that happened in the original game. But then, in Intergrade, he's alive. Like, he legitimately runs into the church after all the events of what has just happened in the main game, with the entire 7th district being destroyed. He runs into the church, says, "I'm back!" And people do acknowledge him. They look at him and like, what the hell? But he actually comes in, and it's very clear that he's alive. So it's just like, what's going on here? How is Zack alive? This is how they explain it. Basically, they explain that, for whatever reason, in this version of the story, he does send Cloud off and all this stuff, but instead of dying, he lives. So that's going to be... so I think that the main reason why they made this is to explain exactly why things are different. So they basically just took the entire game from the original, remastered it, and then said, here's the ending that we're changing completely, so that Zack is still alive, and you can... and he'll be able to be seen in the new game. Which... I honestly am so confused, because this could very well mean that over the next few the next few parts of the main Final Fantasy VII games, we're actually going to be seeing Zack alive. Like, Zack is actually going to be an important, integral part to the game. I'm not exactly certain what that could mean, but it could be very, very interesting. And with that, it also raises an important question. Will Aerith die at the end? Well, correction. Will Aerith die when she's supposed to? Or even die at all? Because if you haven't... obviously, in the main 7 game, she dies. She is one of the most famous gaming deaths in history. And is she going to survive? I'm not sure. I'm honestly uncertain exactly what they're going to be doing with this, because one thing that is very different is that this game is... The 7 game, the 7 remake, is a lot more edgy, for lack of a better term, than the original. And part of me wonders if, because of that, it also is going to mean that Aerith is going to survive. It's hard to say at this point in time. Because, yeah, there's like differences and changes that could absolutely happen, and I'm not sure what they're going to do. I'm honestly really wondering what exactly Nomura has in store for us. Granted, I think that it will probably be a little while before we actually see, like the full version, like the entire game laid out before us, going all the way from where we currently are to the end to, I don't know, Advent Children or the equivalent. But we'll have to wait and see. There's so many things that could happen in the next few arcs. We'll see. But anyways, guys, this has been a bit of a crazy video talking about how much I actually really like Reunion. But it's also been a bit of a crazy video talking about what is going to be in store for the next parts of Final Fantasy VII. There's a lot that they have in store for us, and I'm personally really excited. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, leave your thoughts and theories down in the comments below. And of course, if you do have any theories, make sure to say theory review somewhere in your comment, and we'll talk about it in a future video. But anyways, guys, I have been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on!